All right, can you guys all see the presentation?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so are you recording then? Are you good?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Max Benson, and I'm a sophomore on the UMD Bulldog Rocketry team, and I'm also one of the officers of the club this year.
Hi, I am Tyler Hobbs. I'm a senior at UMD, and I am vice president of Bulldog Rocketry.
And our advisor this year and for the past years is Jose Carrillo, and we're excited to tell you all about our club.
So who are we? We are Bulldog Rocketry, the rocketry club at the University of Minnesota, Duluth. We are a very diverse club spanning 7 majors with nearly 30 active members. This is a student-led organization club, and we research, test, build, design, and launch high-powered rockets. Each summer we compete in the Spaceport America Cup down in New Mexico. To the right here is a short little video of a documentary about our club. We'll play just probably a little bit of it for you guys.
For rockets, it's either I want to see it explode or I want to see it to work perfectly. Nothing in between because it's cool either way, right?
I just pray that everything goes as planned because we worked all year for 60 seconds, essentially.
So we are competing against.
So that was just a little trailer that someone made for our club a couple years ago. And oopsies. There we go. And so one aspect that we really try and focus on with our club is our volunteering and outreach. And so we do a variety of outreach opportunities throughout the school year to really just try and get out in our community and get kids interested in both our club by telling them what we do and showcasing some of the things that we manufacture and build throughout the year, and just getting people interested in STEM. And so some of the opportunities that we have for our students to go out into our community are the Starbase Rocket Launch Day event, STEM Iron Range Showcase, our Halloween Spooky Science event, and the Lowell Elementary School Science event, as well as even getting out on our own campus at our activities fair. And so some of the things that we do at these outreach events are, like you can see in the picture on the bottom left, we have students and kids make their own rockets, their own stomp rockets, just so they can start to actually visualize what a rocket and what goes into making a rocket.
So this club was formed in 2014, and we first started competing in the Midwest high-powered rocketry competition. At this competition, we ended up taking first place in 2016 and 2017. And like I mentioned earlier, we compete at the Spaceport America Cup. In the last 2 years that we were able to compete at this competition, we took second place. We specifically compete in the 30,000 foot SRAD solid fuel competition or category at this competition. And SRAD is student researched and developed. So our club, we design, research, manufacture, test and assemble all the components for a rocket from start to finish. And then this video to the right here is a short static fire of our rocket's motor.
Yeah, so like Tyler mentioned before, for the past couple of years, we've been competing at the Spaceport America Cup, which is the largest international intercollegiate high-powered rocketry competition in the world. And so by going to this competition, we're able to compete against larger schools like MIT and Yale, as well as international teams from countries like Brazil, Switzerland, Turkey, and Poland. And despite our smaller school size, we still bring our best to the competition every year. And this shows in our results, with us winning second place in the past 2 years that we've been able to compete in the 30,000 SRAD motor category.
Awesome. So this is a little bit about our previous rockets that we have brought down to competition in New Mexico. So this rocket on the left of your screen, you can see this is a 20-foot rocket, and this ended up going, I think, 24,000 feet. And it is so large because we had the payload was a glider. So at Apogee, it deployed this glider that then glided down to the ground. And here in the middle was our most recent rocket that we were able to bring down to competition. And this was a 14-foot rocket. And the advancements from the previous rocket to this rocket were great. We were able to really reduce weight by improving our manufacturing methods, especially in composite material. So we were able to create a carbon fiber body tube, this upper section right here. And that allowed us to reduce weight, so then we can add more weight in a payload or have more electronics on board. And that was just really cool and fun for all of us to be able to improve our manufacturing methods. And then here's a quick video of the launch of this 14-foot rocket, and it went up to 32,500 feet.
Yeah, so like Tyler mentioned before, we have a payload in our rocket, and there's the payload and the electronics of our rocket allow students to work on smaller individual projects that they can also apply their engineering skills like designing and prototyping to. And so a couple of the payloads that we've had in the past couple of years are this switch wing carbon fiber glider, and this RC paraglider, which were in our last 2 years of competition. And both these came out at Apogee at around 23 to 30,000 feet, and they glided down to the ground. And this year, one of our team members is designing a payload that kind of models after the Boeing Starliner capsule. And so it has airbags that will expand and absorb the impact when it hits the ground. And the purpose of this is to measure the force that's experienced by the capsule. And another area where students get to apply engineering topics is in the electronics. And so we have multiple electronic systems like our launching system and antennas that we use for tracking our rocket that are all student built and designed.
Awesome. So one of the great features, great aspects, I guess, of being in this Rocketry Club is we get to put all of our engineering knowledge that we learn in class into real problems, into actual life examples. So this is some of the ANSYS simulation that we did over here on the left. We have our nose cone, and all of these simulations we run to ensure that our components that we are designing and researching and building will be able to withstand the forces that the rocket will experience during flight. So this far left picture up in the upper left corner is a picture of the nose cone, and that just shows the displacement that the nose cone has during flight. That is exaggerated. It is a little, just so you can see where it actually will deform. And the one to the right of that, that is the body tube, the carbon fiber body tube. And we ran a design of experiments on that to determine the maximum or the minimum thickness we could have to ensure that this deflection, this bend wouldn't be great enough to break. And then over here on the right, we were able to do some scale model wind tunnel testing. And we were using that to determine drag and pressure values across the rocket. And that was backed up with ANSYS simulation and CFD in the bottom left corner. And all of this allows students to get experience in real life engineering, what they could be doing at a job, how to put their knowledge to the test in actual problems. So that's really a really cool part of this club.
Yeah, and so looking at the future, we have a pretty bright future thanks to support from the Minnesota Space Grant and our university. And so we've been able to expand our club not only through membership, but also our workspaces. So we've been able to purchase 2 shipping containers in this past year that we're working on modeling or remodeling to become a permanent workspace that team members can use to manufacture individual parts or just have a work area so that they can build the rocket in a safe environment.
So if you want to learn more about Bulldog Rocketry, you can find us on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can go to Bulldog Connect on the university website, or you can email us at rocketry.d.umn.edu. We would like to again thank the University of Minnesota Duluth and MN Space Grant for giving us the opportunity to be able to go and compete at this competition and build these amazing rockets. Thank you, and now we will open up for questions.
So how is this summer's event looking? Is it, you guys going to be able to go?
So this summer we are unfortunately not able to go down to New Mexico to compete, but they made it a virtual event, so we still do all the paperwork and all of the final reports, and those will be sent in to be graded, I guess, as the competition. But we have been working hard to be able to launch down in North Branch, just north of the cities, and we will be trying to launch there. The only issue with that is in New Mexico, we are able to launch to 30,000 feet, and in North Branch, they have a ceiling of 20,000 feet. So we've been working through that to try to determine the best way to go about that without having to rebuild an entire rocket. So.
And how much is the cost of each of these rockets? Do you guys have an estimate from the top of your head?
Yes. So, Max, you want to take this? You have more experience with the money than I would, but I could say 3 years ago when we first, or 3 years when I went to competition for the first time, we spent about just shy of $4,000 just on the rocket components, and then we have to spend money on travel and housing down in New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, and as we work with more like composite materials and just trying to advance our knowledge in manufacturing processes, it has added on. I don't have a specific number for this year, but we're buying like materials like carbon fiber and resins that allow us to make our rocket lighter, but it also adds on the cost of costing more money for that.
And there are parts that are reusable, or you have to, every rocket we have to start with everything new from the beginning?
Yes. So as a club, we like to do what we call a transfer of knowledge. So every year we like to rebuild components because as a senior, I've been able to build 3 rockets as I've been in a club for 3 years, and you can reuse components, but then freshmen coming in won't get that hands-on experience to be able to learn how to do a carbon fiber layup or be able to operate a mill or a lathe to then get that hands-on experience and be able to work with tools and stuff like that.
Okay, well, thank you. Any other question? Well, thank you so much for your presentation, and I am